104.9 Coyote Country. Good morning. It's Robert Miguel here with you. All right, I've got with me a special guest on the phone, checking in from where? Austin? Are you in Austin right now?
Yes, we're in Austin.
Okay, checking in from Austin, Texas. Lena Martinez-Wolfinger. Did I say that right?
You did. Thank you.
Wolfinger, that's a cool name, like a rock band sounding name. But you are the managing attorney, Virtual Self-Help Center at Texas Legal Services Center. Now, you guys have a big event coming up this Thursday, noon to 3, at El Progreso Memorial Library here in Uvalde. Can you give me a real quick summary on what's going on there?
Sure. We are coming back to Uvalde. We had a pilot project similar to this about a year ago, and we got some more permanent funding or some more long-term funding, and so we wanted to come back to the community where we had a really great experience before and set up what's called a remote legal clinic. So we are going to be answering questions on family law issues for people in the Uvalde community through a video chat service. Low income particularly is the group that we are wanting to help. We realize that access is not always available for people to get those services, and so we want to try and help fill that gap.
Well, that's very cool. Now, how is the TLSC and its services funded? How do you guys actually, pay your employees and make this happen for our community?
So Texas Legal Services Center actually gets a number of different grants through a couple of different funders, but for this particular program, we are actually funded through the Texas Access to Justice Foundation.
So how did you actually get connected with the El Progreso Memorial Library here in Uvalde? What catalyzed you guys down here?
So that was one where just over a year ago, we were looking for counties where there was not an established brick-and-mortar legal aid office. And Uvalde was one of those counties, and so there were 5 different counties where we ran pilot programs, and Uvalde was one that we just really wanted to come back to and say, you know what, now that we have the funding available, let's go ahead and move forward and invest a bit more in this community.
Texas Legal Services Center, you guys are basically offering the free legal advice via video chat. How'd you guys come up with this idea? How has the technology affected you guys in the legal services community industry? What made all this happen? How'd you guys just develop this whole program?
Sure. I think technology has really helped us expand the help that we're able to provide communities that might not otherwise have access. And that particular way to do that is not new to TLSC. We also run a website called Texas Law Help, and that website has a chat feature on it as well. And we've been using that chat feature to try and expand the number of people that we're able to talk to and give advice to for a number of years already. And so I think it was just sort of taking it one step further to say sometimes it's better to have some face-to-face contact and try and connect with people that way. So we're just trying to keep up with the times and progress as much as we can to help as many people as possible.
Now in my experience, I've used a couple of websites with wizards and whatnot, and they say they've got a chat feature. It seems to me like every time I talk to somebody on a chat, it seems like I'm talking to a program. Do you guys have real live people back there?
We do. We do have real live people. Some are volunteers that are law students. Others are paralegals that we have here on staff, particularly for people who we're able to give legal information to but may not be able to advise because they may be over income for our program. But for those people who qualify as low income, those people get routed to our attorneys, and then we're able to do a deeper dive and really look at the facts of the case and then see what information and legal advice we can provide.
Well, once again, we're talking to Lena Martinez-Wolfinger from the Texas Legal Services Center. They're offering a really cool program. I believe it's the, first Thursday of the month every month?
That's correct.
And it's going to be happening this Thursday at El Progreso Memorial Library here in Uvalde from noon to 3. Now, you are, of course, the managing attorney. What got you involved in this kind of program, and where do you feel like you're going to go from here?
I grew up in a low-income household with a single mom who worked in the day teaching in the public school system and then worked at night teaching GED classes to students who were often on probation or on parole. Even though she wasn't an attorney, I really saw her study the law to make sure that her students were being treated fairly no matter what their income was. And after I graduated from college, I took a job working in a low-income housing community, really found myself frustrated when I saw residents that were treated unfairly because they didn't have the money to change their situation or their circumstances. And so personally, I decided to go to law school to try and help communities like those gain better access to justice and just make sure that they're being treated fairly. And so one thing about this program that I really appreciate is that, it's reaching out to those communities that are very familiar to me. It feels good to be able to reconnect with those real people who need real help.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the media and movies and whatnot, it seems like lawyers are always depicted as the evil, vile criminals that get, eaten by dinosaurs and whatnot. But it's just really refreshing and really nice to know that a lawyer such as yourself is doing something good in the world. It's a really great thing. So thank you for what you do. We do appreciate that. Again, you guys are offering some free legal advice this Thursday, noon to 3 at El Progreso Memorial Library. Now, this is going to be a family law like divorce, custody, child support. What is going to be covered? What can we talk about? What is not covered?
So family law is probably one of the biggest categories on the civil side of things, in that you do cover divorce, which has sort of different types of divorce. There's divorce with children and divorce without children, divorce when you have property to argue over, and divorces where there isn't any property. There's also there are what's called a SAPSR, a suit affecting parent-child relationship, which is when you are not getting divorced, but you still need to have a order in place to figure out how to split up time with the kids if you have kids together, but no marriage to dissolve. And then we can also advise on name changes for adults and for children, and then modifying those court orders that have already been in place as well.
It's advised that people register online before the services. Now, people can walk up if they really need to, right? But you're going to take care of the registered users first, I guess?
That's right. So if you pre-register, you'll have priority because we'll know that you are coming. We'll have been able to prepare for you. But as much time as we have, we are going to try and utilize all of that time talking to as many people as possible. You'll have about 20 minutes to talk to the attorney in this session, but there's also a chance to stay connected to that attorney after that 20 minutes if we see an opportunity to take on more in terms of, or if we need to talk more to that specific client.
Now, before registering for services online, what should somebody have ready with them, or maybe when they show up in person, what items should they bring?
You know what? We really just need name, contact information, and if there are any existing court orders, those are always helpful to have on hand.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the information. Again, we've been talking to Lena Martinez-Wolfinger, Managing Attorney, Virtual Self-Help Center at Texas Legal Services Center. Where can we find you guys online, get more information about what you guys have going on?
So there are actually two different places that you can connect to us. One, if you are looking for actual legal forms, court orders, things like that, legal information, you can go to texaslawhelp.org. But you can also find us for our organization by looking for Texas Legal Services Center, tlsc.org.
Okay, that's tlsc.org. Well, thank you, Ms. Martinez-Wolfinger, for checking in this morning. We do appreciate what you guys are offering our community. We will see you Thursday, noon to 3 at El Progreso Memorial Library. Thank you so much.
Thank you.